this question is totally weird. If I compare false with this null, what you think the output will be? You will say like it will be true, cause false is nothing, false means nothing, and null mean also nothing, so it will be true. But no, it is false. So now let's continue from our previous video where we left off, and now let's move toward our next interesting question. And this question is, let me just write it out, and this is console exclamation and then again exclamation. By the way, this double exclamation is used to check truthy values. And what truthy values are, like in simple words, you are checking either this is false or true. You are just checking boolean value, and this double exclamation returns you the result. If it's true, then it will return true. And like in simple words, you can say this is a if statement. If it is equal to false, or you can say if it's equal to true. So this is the shortcut, and it's called to check like truthy values. Okay, so truthy value, and then you can say our empty array. So what you think the result will be? If you are thinking it will be like, you can say false, then you are wrong. It is true. By the way, let me have some separation here so you can see where we are now starting from. So we are starting from here after these dashes. So now output of this result will be true. And why this is true? As I have already mentioned in our previous section, like array is, whenever we create an array variable, we are assigning a memory section inside the JS engine. You can say how JS engine works, we don't care. But whenever we create a variable, we are this variable is holding a pointer towards the memory allocation in the JS engine. And this empty brackets, or you can say this empty array, means there is some reference or there is some pointer exist towards the memory space. Okay, so if let's suppose I create a variable array here being initialized with an empty array, and if I run this console statement on this, then what you think will happen? Okay, let me paste the exact array keyword, and this is true. This is again true. Why? Because this array is holding a pointer towards the memory section inside the JS engine. So this array is not mean empty. This is holding an address. That's why this truthy checker is calling it as a true. Okay, so this is it for this question, and now let's move towards our next amazing and interesting question. This is the most interesting question that I feel. So let's console log out, and not console, let's check if boolean on empty array. What you think the boolean will be? If boolean, then console okay, otherwise just console log out not okay. What you think the output will be? Here we are checking boolean on our empty array. What you think the output will be? So as I already mentioned, this empty array doesn't mean nothing. It actually being pointing out towards memory allocation, memory space. So this boolean will convert this empty array to truthy value, and this will eventually being evaluated to true. So that's why this statement will run out, and as you can check, this okay is being printed out. And now let's quickly move. I don't want to waste time on any of these things because I have cleared behind the scene concepts in our previous section. So now let's move towards the next tricky question, which is what you think this empty array will be equal to true. What will be the output here? Either this empty array will be equal to true. Now let's check out the output. It is false. And why it is not equal to true? Because as I already mentioned, this empty array means there is some variable. So now let's not take the empty array, instead take this array variable which is being assigned the empty array. So now let's take this variable. Now this variable is holding some address, and thus this address not equal to array. But if you compare this as a truthy value, now as you can see, this array is not equal to true because array is holding some address, some pointer. But if you turn it out to truthy value and you check this out, now you can see it is true, cause this statement here, this section, this is converting this array, or you can say address, to a truthy value, and this is being output and resulted out as a true. And now why this is being output as a true? If you check out the first section, exclamation array, now this is being evaluated as a true cause we are using here truthy expression here. So now this will be array, as array is holding some address, some pointer, so this will be evaluated as a true. And when this true is being compared to true, so this eventually at the end output as a true. So that's why this whole expression is being evaluated as a true. So now let's move toward our next interesting question, which is array, empty array equal to object. So you will say like there is no sense of this question, but it is. Let me console first, before this question, let me console out the output of type of an empty array. What will be the output of this statement? This is an object. Everything in JavaScript has eventually the type of object. Even null, this is very important point, even null has object type at the behind the scene, at the machine level. Object has type of null. And if we check this array is also type of null, because I already mentioned in previous section, if you see prototypal inheritance, everything is being inherited from null type. That's why its type of empty array is even null. So now there is a sense of this question. If someone compares this empty array with object, or you can just say what will be the output of this? This will be false, of course, because empty array is holding address of something, pointer of memory address, but we are comparing this with object, which is totally false. Now if I compare the type of array with object, now it is true. That is amazing. Like now it is true, cause now we are comparing type with some other type, cause this object is of string, like type of this object itself is of string, but the type of this array is object. And now we are comparing two types, like you can say we are doing this thing, object, we are comparing object with the object. So this will be eventually result as a true, of course. So let me write again. Okay, I am not using this array syntax because we already assigned this empty array to this array variable. That's why I'm using this array variable here in this place. Now let's move toward our next question, which is now this question is also a little pain in the ass, because this question is totally weird. If I compare false with this null, what you think the output will be? You will say like it will be true, because false is nothing, false means nothing, and null means also nothing, so it will be true. But no, it is false. It will be evaluated as a false, because I have already mentioned in our previous section how null works. Now let's see the again representation of null. So here is the representation of null. Null means nothing. Null means always nothing. But false doesn't mean nothing. False is a value itself. False eventually at machine level is now, this is the important point, note it out. False eventually at machine level evaluates to 0, and 0 is a value itself. 0 doesn't mean nothing. 0 is a value. But null means nothing. Null means there is nothing as a value. So this is the revival of concept. We have reviewed again our old concept with some new statement that false at machine level evaluates to 0. And if we again now go to our problem here, so now you will see false means 0, and 0 is something. 0 is some value, and something is not equal to nothing. So that's why this expression will eventually evaluate to false. Okay, that was crazy. Now let's make it a little bit tough. Now what you think, this true will be equal to null? What will be the output of this expression now? You will see like true is something and null means nothing. So this will be not equal. Yes, these are not equal. As we already mentioned, like true at machine level evaluates to 1, and 1 is something. There is some value, there is some like value of 1, but null means nothing. So that's why this expression will never ever be equal. So now let's move to our next question, and this question is some kind of initialization of the variables. Now we are going to deal with OR expressions and AND expressions. You already know what these OR and AND expressions are in programming languages. Then good. If you don't know, please watch some video or read some documentation how this OR expression works. Now whenever you create a variable 1, what you think among all of these 3 values, what will be the value of 1? How 1 will be initialized? If I console out 1, what you think the value will be? So if you are considering like it will be false, no, it's not true. It will be empty bracket. Why? Cause how this expression is being evaluated, this is being evaluated on two things. First is OR expression, like pipes or pipes, and the second is it is being interpreted from left to right. Now this OR statement or OR logical expression tells us that either any of the value will be true, I will eventually make the statement as a true. So now if we check this out, like if we read from left to right, false to read to right, false towards object. So this see this value and it like evaluate, oh, it is false. Now let's move toward the next value. Now it comes to the second value, it is null. So there is also nothing. It's like null means nothing. So it will also so this whole expression means false eventually. So now this will move towards the third value, and this is a empty bracket, like this is an object. So whenever you create an object, of course there is some memory allocated, and whenever there is some memory allocation happened, let me create a object here like this and have object here like this. So this is actually the actual easy representation of these statements, cause whenever you put this only object here, this makes a little confusion, but when you create a separate variable and put this variable name here, this makes everything clear. Like object is a variable and it is pointing towards some memory space, and memory space means yeah, there is something true. So this empty object will be allocated to this one, and if I console it out, this is empty object is being allocated to this. So if I go towards our next question, and we make it a little weird. Okay, so this is the statement. I have created a variable 2 signed null, and we are like assigning and doing some evaluation on the base of logical operator, which is OR. Now it will be evaluated from left to right again. It is null. Now OR operator will again try to check all of these values, either I found some true or not, because if any of the value will be true, whole expression will be true. Okay, so it found null, it moved ahead, it found false, and now it moved ahead again, and it found some empty value, empty string, and at the end it just assigned this empty string to this 2 variable. And here you can see, you can't see anything because it's empty string, it's empty expression. So this is for this expression. And if I make it a little again weird, like this, if we do this instead of this thing, if we comment out this and assign null, false, and then again null, so it will evaluate start from left to end, left to end, and at the end it will find nothing, and it will assign last value to this 2 variable. And if we console, here you can see null variable. So, and if we take another example, this, what you think this will evaluate to? If we console it out, 3. So how it will be evaluated? First it will start from here, empty bracket, it found something. It found something at the first point which is true, which is valid. Empty brackets mean array, empty array, and empty array means there is some address, some space allocated in the memory in the JS engine, and this means there is a pointer holding some memory address, and memory address means there is something, and something mean if we evaluate to truthy values, it means true. So it will eventually at the first place find something and just assign to the 3 variable, and if we console, it will print it out. It will not go further, cause OR operator means whenever it will find true, it will just return this out and assign to the variable. Now this is it. And now let's move towards the most difficult but simplest problem that is being asked in the interviews, and it is more interesting as well, cause let me just write it down for you. Console. Now tell me what will be the output of this expression. Okay, so now let me have again an A, and now what you think the output of this expression will be? We have a B, then we concatenated with A, then we have double plus, and then we have A again, and then concatenated and 1A again. So what eventually it will be printed out? You will be thinking of like it will be B A triple A, B triple A, bar kind of thing. But no, it is totally different thing. What is happening is actually when you put double plus, it actually try to coerce it. It try to coerce this value or anything here, it will be present. This double plus mean it try to convert this string into digit. So let me give an example to you. Let's suppose we have this variable ran and it has 8 as a string. So if I console out, it is printed out 8, but this 8 is a string. So if I just put plus plus here, what it will do is it will coerce it, like don't put double plus but only plus. Now this plus is coercing this data type of string to an int. If I show to you type of type of these two variables, then you will check out how it. So this ran has data type of string, but if I put a plus here, then you will see this is of type number. Now what is happening here is, in this our problem, like B is being concatenated to A, and now this double plus, this plus is being used for concatenation, and this plus is being used to coerce the data type string to integer. But whenever A is being coerced to integer, this A is not an integer. Like this A is not an integer in the string form. Like if we have 8 here, then it will be totally okay. But now as a value in the string we have A, not any kind of other digit like 8 or 9. So whenever the string is being coerced to integer form, there it will throw an error. And what kind of error? So let's see what output this will be. Now let me save it, and you will see what kind of weird output it is being printed out. Now if I show to you the output of this statement, this is being this is throwing error because we have to use console.log here, because we are doing many kind of many operations here. Okay, so if we use the double bracket here, okay, so first of all it will do lowercase on this, and then it will be console. So here you can see the very weird output, like it is printing banana. And whenever like developers in interview see any kind of this output, like their mind just blown, because it is totally weird how banana is being printed by using only B double triple A, like ba, how banana is being made from ba. Okay, so how this is being done I have already explained. Like whenever A is being coerced to integer, this will not be able to be done, because in the string there is A, there is not a digit. If there will be a digit, then it will be easily coerced to the integer data type. So if we I remove the lowercase from here, you will see how what actually it is going on. So there is an error being produced, which is nan. See, I have explained what nan is. Nan tells you whenever you want to apply some kind of operations on string, and this string eventually being not evaluated to integer or digit, you want to parse strings to integer. So, and eventually if some bad happen and this string don't parse or coerce to the integer, then this nan appeared, and it tells you that whatever operation you are applying to on the input, that input is not a valid input. So it is not a number on what input you are applying some kind of operation. So that's why nan is being appeared, and whenever the interviewer lowercase this all of the input, and this all of the input of BA, NA, this all is being lowercase, then this banana is printing out, and it is just insane thing which is being printed out. So this is how this all things working, and hope you enjoyed the video, and this is all for this video, and let's see you in the next interesting episode of tricky questions in JS. And till then, bye bye. If you like the video, hit the like button and comment out on what kind of topic related to interview or any other kind of topic you want to have me and video. I will have a video on that specific topic. Until then, bye bye, see you.